slant height, the top height, all the requirements they will ask you. So as an user or as a buyer, we have to provide all the inputs. Okay. And also you will be calculating the area of that canvas, the complete tent. And then cost, you have to calculate the cost also. And you have to provide the complete bill with some taxes. So all these are different kinds of actions that we have to perform. Suppose if you want to do all the steps one by one, it takes more time and more statements you have to write. Okay. So for example, if you are a tent manufacturer and if you want to give some tasks like, accept the user. Don't write, this is only example. Okay. Accept the requirements from the user. Like what are the requirements here? We need the height of that tent, and then let us say radius of the tent, and also we need the slant height. Okay. And then you will be calculate the area, area of the canvas. Okay. And then you will be calculating the cost of the canvas. And then you will be calculating the net payable amount. Okay, from the user. So all these are the different steps as a tent manufacturer you will be performing. So to do these kinds of tasks without a function, let us say, I'm opening the Jupyter notebook. I hope height of the cylindrical part. Okay. So this is the first step. Okay. And the next one is here. You have to enter the radius. So float of input of enter radius. Let us say this one. This is also a float type. And again you have to ask the user float of input of enter the slant height of the cylindrical part in meters. Okay. So here it is. So after accepting this, you are going to calculate the area of a cylindrical conical. Like for example, CSA underscore conical is equal to. So here we are going to 3.14 that is pi r into L. So this is the area of a cylindrical part. Okay, and then so conical is calculated. Next one is cylindrical part. This is a conical part. And this is the cylindrical. So this the formula is 2 into 3.14, that is pi r into h. So this is the formula to calculate the area of a cylindrical part. So this is area of cylindrical part. So now we have calculated these many calculations. Now we have to calculate the canvas part of the area. So now calculate the canvas used to making the tent. For example, here canvas area is equal to, so here CSA conical into, sorry, plus CSA cylindrical. Okay. See, all we are writing in one line by line. It is taking more time. And also if you want to perform the same actions again and again, we have to write repeatedly. Okay. And then again, so this is calculating area of the canvas used for making the tent. And then next one is okay. So if you want to print this value, you can print it. So print it with the area of the canvas is, so you can print it canvas area okay. Then calculate the cost of the canvas. So for example here, so what is the total cost is equal to, so we have to enter the unit price first. So unit price is equal to float of input of enter the cost of the cost of canvas. So this is one input from the, so now total cost is equal to unit price into canvas area. So this is the total cost. So you can print it, the total cost of canvas is equal to, you can print that total cost. Finally, you have to add the tax. So add the tax to the total cost. So here tax is equal to, let us say 18%. So 0.18 into total cost. Okay. Now net price is equal to, can calculate the net price now. Net price is equal to total cost into tax plus tax. Total cost plus tax. So here print the total net amount payable is equal to, you can give the net price. See guys, so these many steps we have to write one by one. So to calculate the area, canvas area and conical part and cylindrical part and unit total cost and with tax. So how many functions we use here? Almost these are the different three functions we used. One is calculate the canvas surface area and cylindrical part of the cylindrical part. So now separate these calculations into a separate function. Instead of writing all the lines of code in a single part, we can divide this into different functions. Okay. So let us say how to divide them. So for that purpose, you can go for functions. So a function is a set of statements that can be are reused again and again. So that is the main purpose of a function. Height is 5, radius is 6, enter the slant height 5 only. So what is the error here? Canvas area is equal to CSA conical, CSA cylindrical. Cylindrical is not found. What is the spelling mistake here? CSA cylindrical, DRICAL. Okay, fine. 5, 6, 5. Enter the cost 100 plus. And then asking the user to give the unit price and calculate the total cost. So these many steps we have written to do a task. So to convert all these into a single separate functions, we can go for function. So functions, can write down this one second. Okay, function can be defined as a named group of instructions that accomplish a specific task when it is invoked. So once defined, a function can be called repeatedly from different places of the program. So why we use functions here? The functions are used, they are used for reusability. So write once, use many times. This is one advantage. And organization. Break complex problems into smaller parts. This is second use. And readability. So it is clearer code structure and maintainability. Okay. So it is easier to update it is easier to update or fix errors. So these are the different uses of functions. Okay, so reusability, organization, readability, and maintainability. These are all the different uses of a function. So how to define a function? So the syntax of defining a function is So function, first of all, you need to give def, def, defining function, function name, and then parameters, then colon. Then you can write some code block here, code block. Then you can return the value, return value. So this is optional. Okay. So this is the syntax of defining a function in Python. So a function can be defined a named group of instructions that accomplish a specific task when it is invoked. So that is the definition of a function. And these are the uses of reusability, organizing the code, readability, maintaining the code is easier. So these are all the uses of functions. Let us say, let's come back to this code. Okay, let us say here. See, if I wanted to convert this entire program into different functions, okay, let us say we have to give the conical part of this calculation. Let us say I am defining a function. See, what is the syntax of defining a function? Def function name parameters and then return value. Okay. Clearing this output, clear the cell output. Okay. Let us say this program is used to calculate the same functionality using functions. Okay. Let us say DEF CIL, cylindrical area of a cylindrical part here. Okay. CIL of we have to take height into radius, height and radius as parameters. So now you can calculate the same. So here area, which one it is? First one is cylindrical part is this one, right? 1 second. I'll copy this function. This is the cylindrical function part. One second, guys. Yes. So this is can take as area cylindrical. Now, simply we can return that area CYL. Okay. Like that, we can also calculate this conical part calculation. So in a separate function. So diff conical part. So take the input as length and radius again. So here, this is the formula like area conical. .14, that is pi r L. Okay. Now can return this area CON. See how easy it is to divide that entire big program into smaller codes, smaller functions here. Okay. And then we can calculate the, so here we can calculate the payable amount. So now def, so tax underscore price of cost you are taking as input, that is parameter. Then you can calculate tax is equal to 0. The same thing, 0.18 into cost. Then net price is equal to cost plus tax. And then return net price, return net underscore price. So now you can enter the values, the values of all the input values. So here you can ask the user. So here float of input of height, enter the height, and then or radius, same input values. So here enter the radius, and then so now we can calculate CSA underscore CYL is equal to, so that cylindrical area, that is H comma R. That's it. Now L is equal to, you can ask the user again the length of the okay, L is equal to float of same whatever we asked above. Just we are using the same. 1 second, guys. L, where is L? This one. L is asking. Okay. Enter the slant height in meters. So now CSA con is equal to CON of L comma R radius. So canvas area, we have to calculate canvas area. Canvas area is equal to CSA cylinder and then add it to CSA con. The same formula we are using, the same above formulas only, but dividing them into different functions. So now you can print it. So print area of canvas is equal to canvas area. See guys, in the above program, we have written all the things in a, see here, we have calculated this one by one. But here, when we divide them into different functions, it looks like this here. So this is separate block of code. This is separate block of code. Easy to read and easy to maintain and easy to modify also. And this can be distributed to different users. Suppose if it is a big program, contains a lot of functions, so that can be distributed to different users separately. Maintaining is very easy. Okay. So this is the definition of a function and this is the calling of a function. Here we are calling this function. See guys. So this is the definition. This we are calling here. This is the function we called here by passing these arguments. These are called arguments. These are called parameters. And this is the other function. And this is the calling of the function. Here we call this function here. I told you a scenario based example where the difference between without using a function and with using a function. Which one you wanted to repeat, Naveen? See, Naveen, our task, let us say one manufacturer of a tents manufacturer is there. So he is going to ask the users or the buyers, give your requirements. What is the height of the tent, and what is the radius of the tent, what is the slant height in meters. So all these inputs we are gathering from the user and calculating that area of conical part, that is using pi r into L, and then area of a cylindrical part, that is 2 pi r into H. These are the formulas. Then total area is calculated using canvas area is equal to this conical area and cylindrical area, added these two things. So now we got the total area of the canvas. Now asking the user the cost amount. So that is entering the cost and calculating the unit price into that particular total canvas area. This is the formula for that. Then adding 18% tax on top of the total cost. So this is the tax calculation, and adding that post tax and then printing this one. See, to write such a big program, here it is taking a lot of time, right? If we want to ask the same questions to the second user, we have to write the same code again and again. But instead of that, if you divide that bigger program into different functions like this, so we have calculated cylindrical area in one function and area of a conical part in one function, and calculate the tax part in one function. So dividing that bigger program into smaller code, smaller functions like this by using the functions. And then later we can ask the user and we can call these functions here wherever you want. So here, this is the cylindrical part of the calculated definition. So now we call that by using this calling function, that is CYL, of passing these two parameters. Okay. And then this is the second function, con, and calling that by passing these two arguments here. These are called arguments H and R, and these are called parameters. The function which is receiving are called the parameter. The function which is calling is called the arguments. So likewise, we can divide the bigger program into smaller set of functions so that this is easy to maintain the code and also easy to read it and fix any errors. Understood, Naveen? Okay. So now we have calculated all the functions here by writing these functions. So later we can execute this by asking some more. So what are the pending values from the user? We have to ask the cost, unit price. So unit price. So you can again take the same unit price from the user. So by asking the user, input the enter the unit cost of the canvas, then total cost equal to total cost equal to unit price into that canvas area. Now we can print it before tax and after tax. Total cost before tax is equal to, so that we can use the as it is total cost, and then print net amount payable including tax is equal to, we can give that, call the function that is the tax price of, so close this quotations here. Okay, tax price of total cost. That's it, guys. See, we called here one function, we called here one function and calculated this and called the final function here. This is the tax price. I just explained you the difference between without a function with a function. These are also called user defined functions. Understood, guys? The difference between without function and with function. Anant, understood? Any doubts? So you know how to define a function and how to call a function. So now when I execute this, where are we? Okay, it's asking height here 5 and 6, slant height some 10. See here, area of canvas is calculated, enter the cost 100. So this is the, so very simple to maintain and to read and to modify code. And we can call these functions wherever you want, again and again. Repeatedly we can call these functions whenever you want. But whereas in the above program, we have to rewrite the code again and again. So repetitive process will be there. But here, with the help of these functions, that repeated activity can be avoided. Okay. So let us say another example, a simple example, calculating the sum of two numbers here. For example, here define the function add nums. Okay, and then you can give that, you can ask the user first number fnum is equal to int of input of enter first number. Okay, and the second number snum is equal to int of input of enter second number. Then sum is equal to fnum plus snum. Just adding the two numbers here. And print, we can print that the sum of the first num fnum comma and snum is sum. So this is the function. We can just call now, add, how to call the function here? This is function call. Just only add nums. That's it. So now whenever I execute this code here, sum. Okay, I think one more extra bracket is given. Okay, now execute this. So enter the first number, 100, 200. So the sum of 100 and 200 is 300. Like that, just we can define a function. So this is the definition of a function, and this is the body of a function, and this is the calling of the function. The same thing can be done in a different way. For example, see guys, suppose if I wanted to pass some parameters here, f and s, first number and second number, let us say. So here, sum is equal to f plus s, return sum. So later, you can ask the user like this same. So here, we're writing in a different way. So here, sum is equal to add nums of f num comma s num. So now we can print that. Can print this one. See guys, what is the difference between this function and this function? Can anyone tell? Yes. So here, we did not pass any parameters here. Just only defined a function and performed all our actions here and call that function. But whereas here, we defined a function with two parameters f and s, and those two are used inside the function. Sum is equal to f plus s, and return that sum. Later, ask the users, enter the first number, enter the second number, and sum is equal to add nums. We call this function here, right? We call this function here by passing these two, f num and s num. So here, f num and s num are called arguments. These are called arguments, and these are called parameters. Okay. So finally, we can print the output, that is sum. Here we use a return statement. Why? Because the calculated result is returned from this add nums function. In the earlier function, we don't have any return because there we have just taken the input and printed that sum. So we can note down this. Understood, guys? This difference between this function and this function? Sai Ganesh, understood? Online, guys? Understood this? Can you please confirm? So this is without any return statement. This is with return statement. Okay, very good. So they may ask you this question, what is the difference between arguments and parameters? So an argument is a value passed to the function while calling. The parameters are receiving the parameters when we define the function. Now tell me guys, what are the parameters and what are the arguments in this? F and S are parameters, Fnum and Snum are arguments. So you just simply write this definition. What is an argument and what is a parameter? An argument is a value passed to the function during the function call. Which is received in corresponding parameter defined in function header. Function header. Okay. An argument is a value passed to the function during the function call. See here guys, this is the function call. Understood? So this is the function call. Call in the function call. These are the arguments that we are passing while calling. And while receiving and define the function, these are called the parameters. Parameters and arguments. Okay, you can note down this one. So we can also pass strings as parameters. Let us say till now we learned how to pass the numeric values. So you can also pass the string values. For example, let us say I want to concatenate two strings here. So one is first name and last name. So define the function full name by passing the first and the last names. Okay. And then here full name is equal to first name plus give some spaces, concatenate using the plus operator, last. Then you can print hello full name. Later you can ask the user first name is equal to input. Because it is a string, there is no need to convert. Directly you can ask the user. So enter first name. Second name is equal to input of enter second name. Then second name, last name, right? Last name. enter last name. Okay. Then full name of, you can pass here first name comma last name. That's it. Now Sai Ganesh, what is your last name? Okay. Sai is the first name. Second name is Ganesh. So we'll get the hello Sai Ganesh. So this is how. Now tell me, what are the arguments and what are the parameters in this function? First name, last name are the arguments and first and last are the parameters. So likewise, we can also pass strings as parameters. Not only numbers, we can also pass strings. So this is used to concatenate two strings. Statement, whenever you are passing that string to this name, so this is going to be substituted in this name. So now hello, that name will be printed. So now let me execute this, run it, see here. So hello stranger, if you are not passing any argument, the default argument is going to take. So that we can assign while defining the function itself. In the function definition itself, in the brackets, we can give that variable is equal to that particular default assigned value, assignment value. Okay. Understood, guys? The difference between a default parameter and with parameters. Third type is keyword arguments. See, what are keyword arguments? For example, let us say I am defining a function introduce of name comma age. So passing these two parameters and print that in a formatted string. Here my name is name and I am so and so years age, years old. Okay. Now here, while calling this function here, introduce of, so name is here Pavan and age is here 25. See here. So here, keyword arguments means here, whatever the keywords we are passing here in this calling function, Pavan is going to be accepted in the parameter name and 25 is going to be accepted in the parameter age. Understood? So these are called keyword arguments. So whatever the keywords you are passing from the calling function, those are going to be assigned to the function definition. So now when you execute this code here, it is going to print my name is Pavan and I am 25 years old. like this. This is called keyword arguments. Keyword arguments. Okay. Now, let me explain one more concept, that is variable length arguments. Let us say convert this into, why it is taking a lot of time. Okay, fine. So the third one is here marked down as variable length arguments. So here def add nums or add all of some numbers can give here return sum of numbers. So here we can call that print or add all of add all numbers. Let us say I am passing as a list of numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See guys. See, you know how many number of variables beforehand. So we know two variables, two arguments only are passing from this introduce. But here you don't know how many arguments you are going to pass. You may pass any number of arguments here. So at that time we have to use star. This star numbers indicates all the values passed from this function. So 1, 2, 3, 4 will be assigned to these numbers and we are calculating sum of those all the numbers. So 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 is equal to 15. So these are called for any number of positional parameters. So you can note down this one as a comment. I am writing a comment here. Sometimes you don't know how many arguments will be passed. At that time, you can use star args. Star args for any number of positional arguments. Okay, guys. So I'm writing the notes here itself, guys. See, I'm writing the notes here itself in the comments. Cannot do this. Understood variable length arguments, guys? And then next type is here. The other type of passing the values, like for example, if you want to pass, what's happening? Okay. So another type of arguments are star quarks, KWRGS, quarks, for any number of keyword arguments. Keyword arguments. This is also comes under variable length arguments, guys. For example, defining one function called print info, print underscore info, star star info. I am just passing one info. So here for key and value in info dot items. We'll discuss about this, guys, later in the dictionaries, key and values. Okay, print, we can print these values like this: key, oh sorry, key and value. So you have to close this. For example, I am printing this info, print info of name is equal to Pavan, age is equal to some 25. This is the Quarks KWRGS, that is keyword arguments. KW means keyword. These keyword arguments are useful whenever you wanted to send some keywords like a dictionary items. So star star we have to use. This is a variable name. We are passing here name and age as arguments. This is going to collect these two arguments, and we can extract those key and values by using for loop. So for key comma value in info.items. Info.items contains these two items, name and age, because info is the Quarks parameter here. So info is a Quarks parameter that is having one function called items, info.items. So this is going to return both the key and value that we are printing here with a formatted string. Key and value is going to print now. Now whenever we execute this here, it's going to print name Pavan and age 25. That is star star args or KWRs, keyword arguments. So for any number of keyword arguments, you can pass this star star info or star star some variable. Understood, guys? This one? Keyword arguments. Let us say one more example. He's asking one more example for that. Keyword arguments. Let us say I'm creating a definition def create character. Let us say I'm passing name and attributes. Okay. Printing that name first here, that is F character just printing that, substituting that value. Where is that? Babre. Okay, this one. Name and then double quotations, close it. Then here, printing the attributes here also, printing some attributes here. Attributes. So for key and value in attributes dot items. Okay. Now we are printing the all the attributes here. F, that is key, comma, capitalize. Capitalize is a string function. So printing those in a capital letters, that's it. And then value in the double brackets and close these quotations. Okay. Now I am printing here print. Okay, how to call? So create character. Who asked this question? Balraj. Balraj, tell me your attributes, your character attributes. His name is Balraju. And then his attributes are you can use something like role is equal to something like ninja. And then weapon is equal to something like $95. Some values or random values I'm giving, guys. And if you execute this here, what is happened? Create character CH. Oh, okay, this one C is missing here. Okay, fine. Like this. If I want to create one more same kind of function here, create character of Anant, and I'm giving some other attributes like role is some kind of maze, and element is element. You can give instead of weapon, you can give element as fire. Then some value mana is equal to 80. So if I print it here, see here, character Balarasu, character Anant, and his attributes. So these are the attributes that we passed with keyword arguments. Capitalize is used to print the names in capitals, first letters capitals. Suppose if I am not giving this, what is that key value here? If I am giving here, if you don't want, you can also remove that. It is we'll discuss in a string function there. Same output. Capitalize is used to display the names with the initial caps lock. Control enter. Okay. See, one important thing you need to remember, guys. That is what I am telling you. This important one. See, for example, I defined a function. I just called a function hello Python, and then define that hello Python function. Then print I love learning Python. See, guys, before defining the function itself, we called it. We call this function, right? Whenever we execute this code here, it is giving an error. Why? Because hello Python is called before defining itself. So you should not call any function before defining that function. First you define the function, then you can call this. You can call this function later. First definition is required. So now I can understood, guys? So you cannot call this function, any function, before defining that function. So in our entire code, we have to define all the functions first. Later we can call them. Okay. Not needed. Okay, now let us discuss the last concept, that is scope and lifetime of variables. Let us say markdown of this as scope and lifetime of variables. This is a heading. Oh, went off. There is no earthquake, don't worry. Okay, now I am defining this as scope and lifetime of variables. Okay, now I will define many variables here, otherwise it is taking a lot of time. Okay, fine. There are two kinds of variables, guys. One is local variables and global variables. Local and global. Okay. A local scope means these variables declared inside a function and exists only within that function. But whereas the global scope means variables declared outside all functions are global. Okay. That is the simple definition of this local and global scope. See guys, now tell me the output. For example, I am defining a variable x is equal to 10. Okay. After that, I am defining one more function, show function, which is changing that value to 5. Now print x. Now again after that show, we are calling the show, and again printing that x. Now tell me the output guys. What is the output of this show and what is the output of this print x? Okay, first is 5. 1 second guys. Function exists only within that function. That is local scope. Variables declared outside all the functions are global scope. So now, excellent. So it is going to print in this show method, globally we declared x here, 10. But inside this function, we defined the same variable with a different value. X is equal to 5 now. It's going to print 5 because we call here show function now. Now print x means here the original value, that is global. Okay. Now 10 will be printed. 5 and 10 is going to print here. Understood? The global and local scope. And there is another keyword called global. Let me explain this one also. Suppose we declared count is equal to 0 and defining one function, increment, just on a normal function, and we redeclared that as global count. So count is equal to count plus 1. If I call that function increment and then again printing that count, now what will happen guys? Inside a function also, we can make that variable as global by defining global keyword. Understood? So here is going to print 1. So as we have modified this count equal to count plus 1 inside the increment, it's going to add that value 0 plus 1, that is 1. So global so you can note down this one also guys. One more point, one moment guys. Use the global keyword if you want to modify a global variable inside a function. Use the keyword, what is that? Global keyword. If you want to modify a global variable inside a function. Okay. So this is applicable for this one. I'm just typing here it, guys. So here I am making it as comment and then typing this one also here. Use a global keyword if you want to modify a global variable inside a function. There are few more concepts are there that we will discuss on Monday. Advanced functions, some lambda functions. Practice all these topics, guys. Don't miss to practice.